Greetings, duelists. It is me, Yugi, but you may call me Yami. I am here to introduce my fellow friend and fellow duelist, Alakazam ASMR, for more Duel Monsters related content. Please enjoy the video, my friends, and may the heart of the cards be with you. And without any further ado, here is Alakazam ASMR. That's very kind of you, Yami. Thank you very much. We'll be seeing more of you very soon, won't we? Now we got introductions out of the way, now for my own. Hello everyone, this is your friend, Alakazam ASMR. And before we get into the opening, I'd like to leave a special shout out, as this video is made possible thanks to the donation of a kind subscriber and friend, known as Asocial Neko. I hope you're doing very well, my friend. Asocial Neko was very generous in donating on my Throne page, which you can find on my main channel. To be quite honest, it's just littered with a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster packs, boxes, and other miscellaneous content. I haven't really bothered with it in months, and I highly encourage you to be aware that there is absolutely no obligation whatsoever to donate to these things. I put a lot of expensive Yu-Gi-Ohs on that Throne, not expecting anyone to pay anything to it. If someone wanted to chip in £1, $1, €1, even just one coin, then feel free to help contribute to videos that will get created one day. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Content is quite expensive to purchase, but thanks to Asocial Neko, we have something quite interesting in store for you all. So thank you all for clicking on this video, and special thanks to Asocial Neko, whom the heart of the cards will always be with. So, feel free to check out my Throne. To be quite honest, the prices in some of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Content is quite ridiculous, so I don't expect anyone to chip in anything. But if you even put in $1 or £1 or €1, it's greatly appreciated. It's content that's going to arrive one day, but you can help speed up that process. And if you have ideas of things I can add to my Throne account, please feel free to let me know in the comments section. And now, without further ado, thanks to Asocial Neko's very gracious donation, we can begin our newest Yu-Gi-Oh! ASMR unboxing with the Structure Deck, a classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, Saga of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is a structure deck that was released many years ago, and they re-released it. It's quite on the inexpensive side, but it's very gracious of Asocial Neko to donate this to us. Structure decks are very good because they allow you to play right away. That's the design of these things, always built with a particular archetype in mind. You could have Blue Eyes White Dragon, Ancient Gears, other types of archetypes, all in one nifty little box, great for beginners, and people who just want a certain archetype to use in a duel. Now, let's get a look at the beautiful box here. Saga of Blue Eyes White Dragon Structure Deck. We have the legendary Blue Eyes White Dragon, and one of the more recent forms, the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. On the back, let's read. Burst stream of destruction. Crush your opponents with the most legendary normal monster. Feel the surge as you wield Blue Eyes White Dragon in a deck built around its awesomeness. Watch your foes cower as you take it to the next level and synchro summon Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Only the strong at heart have what it takes to command this deck to victory. Structure decks come with set cards, so there's no randomness involved, and a playmat, which is very cool of them. You can see in the back every card that we will unbox. Monster cards, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Rabbit Dragon, Alexandrite Dragon, Luster Dragon, Flamvell Guard, Maiden with Eyes of Blue, Rider of the Storm Winds, Dark Storm Dragon, Kaiser Glider, Hieratic Dragon of Tefnuit, Mirage Dragon, Divine Dragon, Apocryph. I hope I said that right. Rolling out of my esophagus, Divine Dragon Apocryph. The White Stone of Legend, Kaibaman, Herald of Creation, Kaiser Seahorse, Honest. 2 copies of Shining Angel. In your extra deck, 1 card. Azurai's Silver Dragon. Spell cards, Dragon Shrine, Silver's Cry, Burst Stream of Destruction, Stamping Destruction, A Wing Beat of Giant Dragon, Trade-in, Cards of Consonance, White Elephant's Gift, 1 for 1, Monster Reborn, Dragonic Tactics, Soul Exchange, Swords of Revealing Light, Enemy Controller, and of course, Trap Cards, Castle of Dragon Souls, Fiendish Chain, Kunai with Chain, Damage Condenser, Call of the Haunted, Compulsory Evacuation Device, and Champion's Vigilance. Fully compatible with all the cards you already own, this epic structure deck includes 37 common cards, 2 ultra-rare cards, 2 super-rare cards, 1 rulebook, 1 deluxe game mat, and 1 dueling guide with tips to help vanquish your foes. Well, thank you again from the bottom of my heart, Asocial Neko. This one goes out to you, as well as the rest of my friends on this humble little channel. Let us begin Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Game, The Saga of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Let's use some magic hands off screen here. Perhaps some magic teeth while we're at it. Alright, open her up. We have our game mat, along with some tips. Very good for beginners. You can read this at your own leisure. Strategy specifically to be used in this structure deck. A nice addition, to be sure. We also have the game mat here. Let's fold this out. Excusez-moi while I set it up. Need to weigh it down a little bit better. Excuse me while I budge this aside. Weigh it down, weigh it down. Maybe I should pull it further down, actually. Okay, this might work. Let's have a look. I think this will do. You can see Azure Eyes Silver Dragon on the left and Blue Eyes White Dragon on the right. You have your Spell and Trap Zone, Monster Zone, and behind here you have other things off camera. Really get you in the vibe to unbox some really cool looking and powerful dragons. Come on, flatten out. It is just out of the box, so it's gonna stick up a little tiny bit, but I think we can manage. Judo Chop. Judo Chop 2. Alright, now, as for the rest of this, inside the box, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Structure Deck. So the only missing component, of course, is the structure deck itself. We have a QR code here. Scan here to learn the basics. We do not have a physical manual, but a QR code will work just fine. So, let's open her up. Come on, open up. There we go. Lovely jubbly. So, we have our promotional cards here, and the structure deck itself. So, let's just pop it over there in the spell and trap zone. So, we have an advertisement for the game Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links with a QR code. A mobile-based game if you want to play speedy Yu-Gi-Oh! Games with specific characters, as well as a little promotional art with Yugi himself and Yuya. Put that up there, weigh it down a little bit. The manual for Saga of Blue Eyes White Dragon with the QR code here. Lovely. And of course the obligatory advertisement for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, a multi-platform Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator that is taking the world by storm. If you find it quite expensive, which it is, to purchase Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, it is a way to play for free if you so choose, or spend some money to get some cards quicker. We have on the art Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. Really cool artwork. It's on Xbox Series X, One, PS5, PS4, Steam, and Nintendo Switch. Experience the next generation of Yu-Gi-Oh! A digital trading card game. So, would anyone like me to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel on this channel? Please let me know in the comments. And without further ado, let's get started with the first card in this Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure deck. There's no point doing it back to front, because we already know which cards we're going to open. So we might as well get this show on the road. 12 minutes in. It's about time. Rambling aside, I hope you enjoy, my friends. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure deck, Saga of Blue Eyes White Dragon, of course, will begin with the legendary Blue Eyes White Dragon. A light type level 2, 4, 6, 8. Iconic, used by the character Seto Kaiba. He loves his Blue Eyes White Dragons. One thing that has been consistent with Yu-Gi-Oh! Since its inception, Blue Eyes White Dragon, besides being the most famous, is also the most powerful normal type monster, even today, granting it this legendary status. A 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense monster. Besides needing to tribute it to summon it normally, there's no other drawbacks. It's just a really powerful card for really beautiful artwork. Blue Eyes White Dragon. Gold writing. Excellent. Dragon. Being a normal monster, it does not have any effects. Instead, you get little descriptions of the lore of this creature. This legendary dragon is a powerful engine of destruction, virtually invincible. Very few have faced this awesome creature and lived to tell the tale. An attack of 3,000 and a defense of 2,500. The ace monster of this structure deck, and iconic to Yu-Gi-Oh! As much as cards like Dark Magician, Red Eyes Black Dragon, Karibo, Elemental Heroes, and many, many more. So, Blue Eyes just goes dead center. Next, we have the more recent Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, a light type level 2, 4, 6, 8. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A level 9 Synchro monster, hence the white coloration. Dragon Synchro with an effect. Requires one tuner or one more non-tuner normal monster. When this card is special summoned, Dragon-type monsters you currently control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects until the end of the next turn. Once per turn during your standby phase, you can target one normal monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. An attack of 2,500 and a defense of 3,000. This is used as a tool to be summoned with Blue Eyes White Dragon, as well as summoning Blue Eyes White Dragon to the field. The beautiful Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, a more modern interpretation of Kaiba's legendary beast. The two aces of this structure deck. And now our next card is a card with an interesting little bit of backstory. We have the level 1 effect monster, Maiden with Eyes of Blue. This beautiful maiden is a level 1 light type creature. Get a look at her there. Spellcaster Tuner monster. When this card is targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack, and if you do, change the battle position of this card. Then you can special summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets this face-up card, except during the damage step, you can special summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only use one Maiden with Eyes of Blue effect per turn, and only once that turn. An attack and defense of 0. The Maiden with Eyes of Blue is made in reference to a character in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. Seto Kaiba discovers that he is an ancient Egyptian ancestor who also had an affinity with the Blue Eyes White Dragon. There was a woman in his life named Kasara, who, using her spirit, was able to connect with the legendary Blue Eyes White Dragon, and it's used to explain why even in the modern day, Seto Kaiba himself has such an affinity for the Blue Eyes White Dragon. She has this appearance of a maiden. However, she can be used to defend herself by calling upon the power of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, as well as attaching herself to the dragon spirit itself, allowing you to pull up some tactical moves and get Blue Eyes White Dragon, a very powerful creature, on the field very quickly. And a very beautiful looking character at that. And that is Maiden with Eyes of Blue. The next card is a spell card, Dragon Shrine. Very shiny. Shrine of the Dragons, right enough. Its effect: send one dragon-type monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then if that monster in your graveyard is a dragon-type normal monster, you can send one more dragon-type monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only activate one Dragon Shrine per turn. So, these are spell cards intended to either place dragons in the graveyard to put them in a better position for you to summon them. You can summon Blue Eyes White Dragon with 2 tributes, or you can send it to the graveyard and resurrect it. For example, with the effect of Maiden with Eyes of Blue. Maiden with Eyes of Blue can summon it from your hand, deck, or graveyard, so sometimes it's more advantageous to just summon Blue Eyes from the grave. It's all up to your own personal playstyle, and that is the really cool looking Dragon Shrine. Of course, if Blue Eyes isn't necessarily your style, and you want something a little more cuddly, but also fearsome, you can take a look at our next card, the normal type light creature, Rabbit Dragon. This reminds me of early Yu-Gi-Oh! Card designs. Even though this is a modern creature, a lot of early Yu-Gi-Oh! Had extremely strange designs for their cards. Fusions of things that really shouldn't go, but they make it work. A level 2, 4, 6, 8 light type creature. Common print, so there's no shiny lettering, but the art still looks beautiful. A rabbit fused with a dragon, and yet despite its appearance, it has an attack of 2950 It actually has a defense of 2900. And look at this description. Dragon type. It's a snowfield-dwelling, giant-ear-sporting, super-acoustic, snowball-shaped mutant dragon. There's no way anybody can escape. You gotta love early vanilla, normal Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Just a lot of fun. Very simple. This thing has 2900 attack and 2900 defense. 2950 attack to be exact. So, you can use Dragon Shrine to resurrect this instead of Blue Eyes if you wish. It's still a powerful beatstick of a monster. And now, our next card is going to be another powerful, vanilla, normal monster, whichever you prefer to call it, Dragon. The Alexandrite Dragon. A little bit more of a hardcore design. It's a level 4 light-type dragon. Many of the Tsar's lost jewels can be found in the scales of this priceless dragon. Its creator remains a mystery, along with how they acquired the imperial treasures. But whosoever finds this dragon has hit the jackpot, whether they know it or not. An attack of 2000 and a defense of 100. This is another more modern Yu-Gi-Oh card. If this came out in the early days of Yu-Gi-Oh, Alexandrite Dragon would have seen tons of use. It's a level 4 creature, so you don't need to tribute anything to summon it. I know, quite insane, isn't it? A level 4 monster with 2000 attack, its only drawback being its poor defenses. Still, it is a powerful dragon that you can use in a pinch, should you so need it. Sorry if I'm a little bit all over the place at the moment. My beautiful white tiger, who I'm looking across from my left, is making some weird noises because he's just realized I'm filming. So he wants to make a fuss to get some attention. So if you hear a white tiger in the background going on a rampage, sorry, but, you know, we're professionals here. We'll keep going. Now, the next card is another normal monster dragon. The level 4 wind type, Luster Dragon. Another dragon made of crystal. A very beautiful dragon covered with sapphire. It does not like fights, but has incredibly high attack power. 1900 attack and 1600 defense. A level 4 creature with pretty decent defense, but 1900 attack. Almost puts it on par with Alexandrite Dragon here. Luster Dragon, a dependable vanilla monster you can rely on to get yourself out of a pinch. Next, we have something on the opposite end of the spectrum. We have a level 1 fire type, Flamvell Guard. Dragon Tuna, a Flamvell Guardian who commands fire with his will. His magma hot barrier protects his... Cat's meowing in the background. We are professionals here. A Flamvell Guardian who commands fire with his will. His magma hot barrier protects his troops from intruders. He only has an attack of 100, but a defense of 2000. But he can be used as a tuner to summon a creature, such as Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. And having a defense of 2000 is nothing to laugh at. It's pretty useful. So, we have Alexandrite Dragon, who's an attack of 2000 and a defense of 100. And then we have Flamvell Guard, who has 100 attack, but 2000 defense. Quite admirable. Getting these cards that might have a weakness in one area, but an extreme strength in another. I know. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Even the white tigers think so. Now we get into even more tactical cards, with the level 1 effect light creature, Rider of the Storm Winds. That's a song, isn't it? Rider of the Storm. This creature is a dragon-type tuner monster with an effect. You can target one dragon-type normal monster you control. Equip this monster from your hand or your side of the field to that target. If a monster equipped with this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. If a monster equipped with this card would be destroyed, destroy this card instead. An attack of 500 and a defense of 200. Rider of the Storm Winds is not meant for attacking on its own. It's meant to act as support to a dragon-type creature. Basically, it gives it the power to puncture with piercing damage through an opponent's defenses. So, say Blue Eyes White Dragon attacked a monster with 0 defense in defense position. That would normally just destroy the monster. With Rider of the Storm Winds, you would also inflict 3,000 damage to your opponent. Also, if for some reason something would destroy Blue Eyes White Dragon, Rider of the Storm Winds will take the damage instead. A useful utility card. Rider of the Storm Winds. Alright. Next, we have another effect creature. Something more powerful. The Dark type, level 2, 4, 6, 8. The level 8 Dark Storm Dragon. Dark Storm Dragon has an attack of 2,700 and a defense of 2,500. If you are able to unleash its Gemini effect, you can destroy enemy spell and trap cards, which is a very useful effect to have, as sometimes they can be disruptive enough to destroy and dismantle your entire strategy. Spell and trap removal, very much appreciated. It can be dealt with Dark Storm Dragon. It's good to get a mix of cards, not just light, but also dark, as well as wind and fire. Next card is a light-type dragon creature. The level 2, 4, 6 Kaiser Glider, dragon with an effect. This card cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster that has the same attack. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, target one monster on the field. Return that target to the hand. 2,400 attack and 2,200 defense. Kaiser Glider is useful because it can't be destroyed by a creature with the same attack, but also, when it gets sent to the graveyard, instead of destroying a monster, it sends it back to the hand, which sometimes can be more disruptive than destroying it. Some opponents prefer you to destroy their monsters because they can bring them back easily. Being sent back to the hand can sometimes be way more disruptive. And that is the cool ability of Kaiser Glider, this mechanical-looking dragon. Alright, the next card is going to be interesting if I can pronounce this. Probably not. The level 2, 4, 6 light type Hieratic Dragon of Tefnuit. Very cool design. Very ancient Egyptian. Dragon with an effect. If your opponent controls a monster, and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. This card cannot attack during the turn it is special summoned this way. When this card is tributed, special summon one dragon-type normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Also make its attack and defense 0. An attack of 2,100 and a defense of 1,400. So, it is a powerful creature that you can potentially summon straight from your hand, and uses material to bring other dragons to the field, from the hand, deck, or graveyard. It's all up to your own strategy, whether Hieratic Dragon of Tefnuit is worth adding to your dragon deck. So, I'm going to put them over there. Alright, that works out. A simpler creature, we now have the level 4 light type Mirage Dragon. Very cool design. It looks like a dark version of Kaiser Dragon, a classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Vanilla monster. Mirage Dragon is a dragon with an effect. Your opponent cannot activate trap cards during the battle phase. With an attack of 1,600, it's nothing to be sniffed at, and has a defense of 600. It's all about disrupting your opponent's potential counterattacks during the battle phase. So if Blue Eyes White Dragon attacks something during the battle phase, the opponent can activate their spells, sure, but they can't activate their traps unless it's outside of the battle phase. And that's a cool feature of the Mirage Dragon. Next, we have a Dark-type dragon. Divine Dragon Apocryph. I hope I said that right. Level 4 Dark-type, Divine Dragon Apocryph, rolling right out of my dirty little esophagus. This dragon made of flames. Dragon with an effect. Once per turn you can discard a card, then target one dragon-type monster in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. An attack of 1,000 and a defense of 1,500. Divine Dragon Apocryph is all about adding materials to your hand to set up the board, basically, preparing you for a summon or just getting the materials needed to assemble your strategies. That is, excuse me, Divine Dragon Apocryph. Just hit my camera there. I got very excited, I guess. Now, let's continue. The next is a weak card in terms of attack and defense, but one that is extremely useful. Excuse me. Alright. The level 1 light type, White Stone of Legend. A simple creature, but with a devastating effect. A dragon tuner with 300 attack and 250 defense. When this card is sent to the graveyard, add one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. It is a very simple card. It gets destroyed, you add Blue Eyes to your hand from your deck. So if you don't have it yet, and you are far away from drawing it, this card gets destroyed, you're that much closer to obtaining Blue Eyes White Dragon. And now for a very interesting card. One that I find actually quite amusing. The next card is the level 3 light type creature known as Kaibaman. Look at this guy. A Blue Eyes White Dragon style superhero. Kaibaman has an attack of 200 and a defense of 700. A warrior with an effect. You contribute this card. Special summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand. This kind of plays into Kaiba's ego. Kaiba thinks to himself, as the CEO of Kaiba Corporation, we need a superhero for the kids, who's brave, strong, handsome, and skilled enough in a duel to save the day and save the world. Why, myself, of course. That's the ego of Kaiba at play. Kaibaman is usually portrayed in the show as this comedic character, although he did appear in real form in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. But it's an amusing little card with an interesting effect. When it's on the field, you contribute it and summon a Blue Eyes for one less tribute than you normally would. Kaibaman does whatever a Kaiba can. So, that's the interesting little card known as Kaibaman. Next, we have this really beautiful looking card. The level 4 light type, Herald of Creation. This beautiful woman, level 4 light type, is a spellcaster with an effect. Once per turn you can discard a card, then Once per turn you can discard a card, then target one level 7 or higher monster in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. 1,800 attack and 600 defense. A decent enough attack, but it's a means of getting dragons from your graveyard into your hand. A very beautiful design. Ties into the light-type dragon aesthetic. That is the Herald of Creation. The next card is actually an old-school favorite of mine. It is the level 4 light type, Kaiser Seahorse. This aquatic creature looks very cool. This was used quite a lot by Kaiba for its very useful effect. Sea Serpent with an effect. You don't get many Sea Serpent creatures. In early Yu-Gi-Oh! They were one of the rarest monster types. Kaiser Seahorse's effect is very simple. This card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a light monster, an attack of 1700 and a defense of 1650. Kaiba often used this to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon with this card alone. So, rather than having 2 cards, then you summon Blue Eyes. You could just sacrifice Kaiser Seahorse on its own, because Blue Eyes is a dragon of light. You could also use Kaiser Seahorse to summon Rabbit Dragon instead, if you wished. It's got a cool design. It's a different aesthetic having a sea serpent, and that's part of what I like about Yu-Gi-Oh! The characters can use creatures from all kinds of races. Dragons, spellcasters, pyromaniacs, thunder, warriors, you name it. It's got something for everyone. And this Kaiser Seahorse is very useful in a light attribute deck that requires tributes. The next card is a card that lives in infamy because of how effective it is. It is the level 4 light type, Honest. This fairy is deceptively powerful. Very beautiful design. Fairy with an effect. During your main phase, you can return this card from the field to the hand. During either player's damage step, when a light monster you control battles, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. That monster gains attack equal to the attack of the opponent's monster it is battling until the end phase. An attack of 1100 and a defense of 1900. Honest isn't really used for attacking or defending. It's used as a ace in the hole. So, say you have this in your card. Say if you have this card in your hand. Your Blue Eyes White Dragon is about to be destroyed by, say, Dragon Master Knight, which has 5,000 attack. Your Blue Eyes doesn't stand a chance, but Blue Eyes is a light attribute monster. If you discard Honest from your hand, for that turn, Blue Eyes White Dragon will gain 5,000 attack points. Sometimes in the early days of Yu-Gi-Oh!, people would avoid attacking altogether just because of the risk of Honest. The more powerful the creature that's attacking into your light attribute monster, the more disaster could strike if you're unprepared. That is the potent efficiency of Honest. Honestly. Now we have 2 cards. We have 2 copies of the fairy type Shining Angel. 2 copies. Very nice. A level 4 light attribute creature. Fairy with an effect. Look at that design. Very simple, but it works. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 light monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck in face-up attack position. An attack of 1400 and a defense of 800. So, if Shining Angel is destroyed, you can actually activate its effect to summon another one, an attack position, leaving a creature in the field to attack, defend with, or tribute. Alternatively, any creature that is light attribute that has under 1500 attack, such as the handsome Kaiba man over here, the maiden with eyes of blue, and many more, they're all eligible to be summoned by the effect of either of your Shining Angels. Kaiba's Angels, it seems. Now we have a spell card known as Silver's Cry, an alternative artwork of the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Very cool looking. Looks like something out of Monster Hunter. Target 1 dragon-type normal monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. Can only activate 1 Silver's Cry per turn. So basically, it's Monster Reborn for a dragon-type normal monster. Perfect for something like Blue Eyes White Dragon. You might only be, depending on the ban list, allowed to use 1 Monster Reborn, which just lets you plain resurrect something. This is a more controlled means. You can only use this on normal-type dragons, so it balances the game out. And you get a cool artwork of the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. The next card is a card specifically tailored to the Blue Eyes White Dragon. We have Burst Stream of Destruction. This was used as an attack name for Blue Eyes. Burst Stream of Destruction. You can see Blue Eyes ready to attack with its white lightning. If you control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Blue Eyes White Dragons cannot attack the turn you activate this card. So, if you have a Blue Eyes and it can't destroy your enemy directly by battle, you activate this, and at the expense of not being able to attack that turn, you wipe out all your enemy monsters. Very useful in a pinch, if you need it. We're getting more into the variety of spells. So our next spell is Stamping Destruction, a dragon-oriented spell card. If you control a dragon-type monster, target one spell or trap card on the field, destroy that target, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to its controller. A pretty generic effect, but useful. This obliterates one spell or trap and damages the opponent at the same time. Useful. Next, straighten up these cards here. We have another dragon-oriented card. We have a Wing Beat of Giant Dragon. This cool effect. Tyrant Dragon in the artwork. Return one level 5 or higher dragon-type monster you control to the hand, and if you do, destroy all spell or trap cards on the field. Little cat hair on my thumb there, excuse me. So this is a card with a cost. You return one level 5 or higher dragon monster to your hand. But that's pretty good, because you add it to your hand, not the graveyard. And if you do so, you destroy all your enemies' spell and trap cards. It's basically the card Harpy's Feather Duster, with a trade effect, just to keep it balanced. Being able to wipe out all your enemies' spell and traps is an extremely useful effect, so one that needs to be balanced out. And that is a Wing Beat of Giant Dragon. Put all the spells up here. The next card is extremely simple. It is a card that I've used quite a lot when I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, depending on the deck that I'm choosing, of course. We have the spell card, known as Trade-In. It's a cool little artwork. You have the Felgrand Dragon, and a guy exchanging it for 2 coins. Its effect's pretty simple. Discard one level 8 monster, draw 2 cards. So, you have the infamous card, Pot of Greed, which lets you draw 2 cards. And also hit your camera, apparently. Apologies. But yeah, Pot of Greed, not a lot of people know what that card does, but it lets you draw 2 cards. That's so ridiculously powerful it's been banned for many years. So, Trade-In is a workaround. You tribute a level 8 monster, and you draw 2 cards. It's a literal trade-in. If your monster isn't enough to turn the tide of battle, trade it in. Get 2 coins. 2 cards. And maybe you can scramble and find a way to escape defeat and achieve victory. Very useful in the right kind of deck. Also, it's a generic effect. It doesn't specify dragons, even though it has a dragon in the artwork. So discarding any level 8 card will be more than enough to activate its effect. We have another spell card called Cards of Consonance. You can see the White Stone of Legend here in the background. This card is specific. Excuse me. Discard one dragon-type tuner monster with 1,000 or less attack. Draw 2 cards. It's more drawing power. Once again, to balance out how powerful Pot of Greed is, they have to make the effect much more specific in cost. So, that's a viable tactic. You could discard the White Stone of Legend and receive 2 cards. Very simple in its efficiency. Sometimes it doesn't matter how good your strategy is if you don't draw the cards you need, which is why Yugi, Alakazam, it's always important to follow the heart of the cards. Believe in yourself, believe in your cards, and you will achieve victory, my friends. Thanks, Yugi. He's just lurking around in the background. Thinking about duel monsters, of course. He's obsessed, but he is the king of games. So, that was one spell card. Let's go for another. With the spell card, White Elephant's Gift. Send one face-up non-effect monster you control to the graveyard and draw 2 cards. So, it's another means of drawing 2 cards. A lot of these cards here fit the category of a non-effect monster. Any normal monsters will do, and you can draw 2 cards. And that is the handy ability of the White Elephant's Gift. The next spell card is a card that is very powerful. In fact, it's so powerful it's entered the ban list. No, I don't think it entered the ban list. I'm not as up-to-date with Yu-Gi-Oh! Rulings nowadays, but this card was definitely restricted at one point. I believe you were only allowed 1 of these in your deck, but it might have been banned at some point. Let me know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Maniacs. I'd love to know your knowledge. The smart guy in the room knows when he isn't the smart guy in the room, so he asks for help. We have the spell card, 1 for 1. This lotus creature, emerging from another monster. Its effect, send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon a level 1 monster from your hand or deck. This is a very useful tool for pulling out creatures that can summon other creatures. So, discard a card, and I could summon, say, Maiden with Eyes of Blue. Now that Maiden with Eyes of Blue is on the field, I can summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now that I have Blue Eyes White Dragon, I have all sorts of options. I could fuse it into Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I could synchro summon. I could do many things. And that is the power of the generic spell card 1 for 1. You get rid of 1 card, and you summon a level 1 monster. But a lot of level 1 monsters have some really nasty effects. And then, we have another spell card. A very iconic one. One that is incredibly powerful. We have the spell card, Monster Reborn. Used quite a lot in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. I mean, quotes such as, "I activate Monster Reborn to bring back Dark Magician from the graveyard." Or, alternatively, "You're pathetic, Yugi. I activate Monster Reborn to bring back my Blue Eyes White Dragon." Hey, was that pretty good? Monster Reborn is so good, it's been limited a few times. Why? It's a generic effect. Monster Reborn. Target 1 monster in either player's graveyard. Special summon it. This card is so useful in so many situations. So, say Blue Eyes is destroyed. Activate Monster Reborn. It's back. That's it. No catch, no limitations, you just get Blue Eyes back. Say there's a monster more powerful than Blue Eyes in the field. There might be something in your opponent's graveyard that you can use against them. That is the power of Monster Reborn. Sometimes, depending on what cards are released in Duel Monsters at the time, this can be incredibly busted. So, they have to find ways to make Monster Reborn fair. Over the years, it's an iconic card. It is the generic back from the grave spell card effect. Sometimes I still call these magic cards. I'm beginning to show my age. Now, the next card is another spell card, which is Flippity Flip, Dragonic Tactics. This chessboard with dragons on it. Excuse me. Tribute 2 dragon-type monsters. Special summon 1 level 8 dragon-type monster from your deck. So, you might have 2 dragons on the field, but you don't have the card that you need to summon at that specific moment. Dragonic Tactics is a way to get the card you want in your hand. So, say I want to summon, you guessed it, Blue Eyes White Dragon. I can tribute two, and basically any 2 dragons I wish, and then I can summon any level 8 dragon-type monster I want from my deck. So if I don't have it on hand, I can make it happen with Dragonic Tactics. Next card is a classic Yu-Gi-Oh card. I've used this a few times in some unorthodox strategies. This card is the spell card, Soul Exchange. Very, very useful. Target one monster your opponent controls. This turn, if you tribute a monster, you must tribute that monster as if you control it. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this card. So, Soul Exchange is pretty much a way of going, hey, I've only got 1 tribute here, or I don't have enough tributes that I need. I know, yoink, I'll just use an opponent's monster as a tribute instead. This can be a very effective means of demolishing your opponent's defenses. If you can't beat the opponent, join them, or more accurately, make them join you with the power of Soul Exchange. Very useful card, if you can pull off its effect right. The next is going to be another spell card. Swords of Revealing Light, a classic stalling Yu-Gi-Oh card. Flip all monsters your opponent controls face up. This card remains in the field for 3 of your opponent's turns. While this card is face up on the field, monsters your opponent controls cannot declare an attack. This is very useful in both the literal Yu-Gi-Oh card game and the video games. It can be very annoying to deal with. It's just a generic spell card. It sits in the field for 3 turns, but for 3 turns, your opponent can attack you. It also flips cards face up, which can be really devastating to cards that want to stay face down and hidden. So, Swords of Revealing Light is one of the ultimate stall cards. It gives you 3 turns to save yourself, and that is the Swords of Revealing Light. Where are you going to go? I'll put you over here. Alright. Next is a cool, gimmicky card. It is a spell card known as Enemy Controller. Now look at that blinged up game controller. It looks a lot like the Senate. The Senate. I was about to say the Senate there. I am the Senate. Use the enemy controller. Use the power of the dark side of the Force to take control of your dual monster creature on your opponent's side of the field and show them no mercy. Darth Yami. Okay, all slip-ups aside, Enemy Controller is a really cool card that I was trying to say looks a lot like a Sega Genesis / Sega Mega Drive controller. A, B, and C. Activate one of these effects. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Change that target's battle position. So, you can make an opponent go from attack to defense, or defense to attack. Useful. Also, you contribute one monster, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Take control of it till the end phase. Just being able to steal an opponent's monster is incredibly useful, so they have to give it a limitation. You have to tribute a monster to activate it. Still, a card that has 2 effects is definitely useful. You can manipulate your opponent to attack or defend, or sacrifice a single card and control it for at least 1 turn. But, say for talking's sake, I had 1 card out in the field and had a Blue Eyes in my hand. Go figure. I could tribute a card and steal their enemy monster for myself. I can attack with it, defend with it, or tribute that to summon something more powerful. It's all down to the heart of the cards and your own dueling strategies. Only got a handful of cards left. We're nearing the end of this video. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. If you like Yu-Gi-Oh content from myself, Alakazam ASMR, feel free to check out my channel. I've got roleplays, I've got unboxings like this, and many more. And if you feel free to check out my Throne, you can help me speed up the process of putting out more videos like this. But there's no pressure. All you gotta do is sit back and relax, and I got this. I love you all. Now that the intermission's out of the way, let's begin showing off our last few cards. Now let us enter the final stages of this fun little Yu-Gi-Oh! ASMR video. We have nothing but trap cards left, so let's begin with Castle of Dragon Souls. Very sinister looking appearance, isn't it? A lot of text to read here. Let's get it out of the way. Once per turn, you can banish one dragon-type monster from your graveyard, then target one monster you control. It gains 700 attack until the end phase, even after this card leaves the field or the monster becomes unaffected by card effects. When this face-up card in the field is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished dragon-type monsters and special summon that target. You can only control one Castle of Dragon Souls. A means of bringing back dragons from beyond the grave, and beyond even that. Bringing them from being removed from play, aka banishment. Castle of Dragon Souls is another card that can be used to bring out your dragons when you most need them. The next trap card is a simple one, known as Fiendish Chain. Very creepy looking. I like it. Activate this card by targeting one effect monster on the field. Little cat hair on there. Its effects are... Let's just do that from scratch, okay? Activate this card by targeting one effect monster on the field. Its effects are negated. Also, it cannot attack. When it is destroyed, destroy this card. So basically, it's a way of locking down your opponent's monster and its effects. When the chain leaves, so does the effect that weakens it and disables its effects. Enemy neutralization can always come in handy. The next card, kind of ironic that this is in a Saga of the Blue Eyes structure deck, because this is a card used by that third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck, Wheeler. Pathetic. This card is known as Kunai with Chain. A powerful card. I don't know what it's doing in that dweeb's deck. Alright, Kaiba, calm down. This is my video here. Now, Kunai with Chain is a trap card with an effect. Activate one or both of these effects simultaneously. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster and change it to defense position. Then you can also target one face-up monster you control. Equip this card to that target. It gains 500 attack. So, you throw the Kunai with Chain, you lock the enemy's monster into defense position. Then your monster that was attacked gains 500 attack with the Kunai with Chain. An early Yu-Gi-Oh card that was used by Joey Wheeler. I don't think Kaiba's going to bother saying his first name. He doesn't consider him worthy. Still, we have a few more trap cards left before the end of this video. So, let's get on with it. The next trap card is known as Damage Condenser. This machine has an effect. When you take battle damage, discard one card and special summon one monster from your deck with attack or less than equal to the battle damage you took in face-up attack position. So basically, when you get attacked, if you take little damage, you can summon a little attack monster. You take lots of damage, you can summon a high attack monster. Low risk, low reward, high risk, high reward, with Damage Condenser. Then we're getting on to the final three cards. We have another classic Yu-Gi-Oh card, and a very simple one, known as Call of the Haunted, a resurrection-based card. Activate this card by targeting one monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in face-up attack position. When this card leaves the field, destroy that target. When that target is destroyed, destroy this card. So basically, it's Monster Reborn with restrictions. This card will bring back one monster from the grave in attack position, but if Call of the Haunted disappears, so does the monster. It is Resurrection with a catch. Our second last card is a very useful trap card known as the Compulsory Evacuation Device. This beast leaving the field. Target one monster on the field. Return that target to the hand. This is quite multi-purpose. You can use it on your own monster to return it back to the hand if bad things are going to happen. But you can also use it on your opponent to force their monster back into the hand. Very useful ability to have in a pinch. Sometimes sending back monsters to the hand is much more disruptive, as I said, than sending it to the graveyard. Getting sent back to the hand after, say, 5 or 6 cards being needed to summon it, this can be crippling to a degree to certain types of summoning decks. And our final trap card, and card for this Saga of the Blue Eyes White Dragon structure deck, is going to be the trap card known as Champion's Vigilance. Look at this warrior, looking very fierce. If you control a level 7 or higher normal monster, when a monster would be summoned or a spell or trap card is activated, negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. This card is like Solemn Judgment, one of the most powerful cards in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! To put it in layman's terms, Solemn Judgment was a card where you would play it and just say the opponent's going to use a spell card, a trap card, a monster. You basically just go, no, you're not doing that. This is a way of getting it. You do need a level 7 or higher normal monster to activate it, because Solemn Judgment was so powerful it was banned numerous times. So this one has the limitation you already need to have a level 7 or higher normal monster in the field. But being able during an opponent's turn to just say, no. I summon, no. I play, no. I activate, no. Very satisfying. Unless you're on the receiving end of it, in which case you want to get some revenge. And that is the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! Saga of the Blue Eyes White Dragon structure deck. ASMR. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I haven't made Yu-Gi-Oh! Content in a while, so if you've been around for a while, I hope you enjoyed. If you are new to this ASMR channel, check out my playlist section. I have an entire area that just covers Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. It covers roleplays, where I play characters such as Yugi, the King of Games, or, in the future, Seto Kaiba, the true King of Games. Don't believe what Yugi says. Pathetic duelists, believing propaganda about the heart of the cards. I cover roleplays, I cover video game playthroughs, and other miscellaneous weird content. Whether you've been around for a while or you're a newcomer, I'm grateful to have you here. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you to Asocial Neko for the kind donation of this Saga of the Blue Eyes White Dragon structure deck. I'm glad to see your donation being made into a YouTube video. The idea is every single donation on my Throne page isn't just me asking for free stuff. It is me hoping, but not expecting, donations to create videos. Every single thing on my Throne page is something that I would inevitably make a video on. So it could be board games, it could be trading cards, it could be a variety of stuff to help the channel out. But as I say, there's no pressure to donate, because we're all trying to get by. As long as you have a wonderful time and you're all relaxed, that's all I hope for. Keep enjoying the content. Thank you very much for your time. Now let's just do a roll call of this structure deck. So, we got Champion's Vigilance, Compulsory Evacuation Device, Fiendish Chain, 1-for-1, Shining Angel, Dragonic Tactics, Cards of Consonance, the White Stone of Legend, Rabbit Dragon, Divine Dragon Apocryph, I hope I said that right, Alexandrite Dragon, Trade-In, White Elephant's Gift, Mirage Dragon, Luster Dragon, Shining Angel 2, Flamvell Guard, Call of the Haunted, Castle of Dragon Souls, honestly, Swords of Revealing Light, Rider of the Storm, wins, Kaiser Glider, Kunai with Chain, Herald of Creation, Dragon Shrine, Damage Condenser, Stamping Destruction, Soul Exchange, Silver's Cry, a Wingbeat of Giant Dragon, Enemy Controller, up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, C, Kaiser Seahorse, Burst Stream of Destruction, Kyberman does wherever a Kyber can, Maiden with Eyes of Blue, Hieratic Dragon of Tefnuit, Monster Reborn, and Darkstorm Dragon. And the free ace monsters of this structure deck, Maiden with Eyes of Blue, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Myself, Yami Yugi, and Seto Kaiba. We all hope you enjoyed this structure deck. If you're watching this video, you have impeccable taste in dueling, choosing the Blue Eyes White Dragon. If you'd like to show some support to Alakazam, my fellow associate who is allied with Kaiba Corp, feel free to help him out by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't be a fourth-rate duelist with a third-rate deck, and show him some support. Kaiba Corporation always works with the best. Now every single one of you, look forward to the future of Alakazam ASMR's channel. Ha 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 ha! Well, we got an endorsement from Kaiba Corporation there. Ain't that just lovely? And you know what else is lovely? You guys and gals. And pals in between. Every single one of you, thank you so much for watching this video. It means the world to me. Feel free to check out my channel. I make a variety of content, roleplays, unboxings, video game playthroughs, and many more. But, above all else, you have a wonderful time, alright, my friends? This has been your friend, Alakazam ASMR. May the heart of the cards be with you. Take care of yourselves. And adios, my friends.